Hey, yeah, it's Russ Payton with
Hey!
Ludonarrative. Hey, yeah, we can all do it.
Hey!
Hey, hey, we'll just do this for an hour.
Hey, folks.
Yeah.
60 minutes of hey.
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 Let's see here. Let me. On Church of the Let's see here. All right. So yeah, it's September. We're doing our live stream for Ludonarrative Dissidents. We have a couple things to talk about. I've played a couple. I've run played and I've run Salvage Union, and I also played the Zone RPG, which is a GM-less game. And Caleb Stokes, friend of the podcast, facilitated it because it was his copy of the game and he read the rules. So those are interesting games to talk about. But you know, for those of you who are in the going to be showing up, hey. Hey, good evening. Yeah, if you have questions or something you want to talk about, you know, we can do that as well, as we are open to do that. So,
and you know, we'll just chat, make some light jokes. What's in the news these days?
Oh,
no, this is the escape. No, remember, role playing is an escapist hobby. We're an escapist hobby. Let's lean into the escapism, Greg. That's going to be our selling point.
I'm just gonna go off to my safe place, which is Delta Green.
There we go. Yeah, the coziness of Delta Green. When things can be blamed on actual cosmic horrors. Yeah, Nair Lothotep did it. It's a lot. It's actually strangely comforting these days. Yeah. So, yeah. But I'll just start mentioning one of the games I talked about.
Salvage Union.
Salvage Union is a very fun mecha RPG. We've talked about it before. We went through the quick start set PDF recently, or not recently, but earlier on this podcast, or on this live stream, really. And but I actually sat down and ran a full session of it. It'll be showing up on the public feed of RPPR Actual Play next week, next Thursday, actually. And I ran the starter adventure for it that's inside the main book, which is called The Downing of the Tychos. And it's a very simple, like in Salvage Union, your crew is set up in a mobile, giant, town-sized mecha, a Union crawler, I believe they call it. Yeah, Union crawler. And basically, you hear that a cargo plane filled with a sensitive, top secret corporate research, cargo has crashed in this ruined city over there. And you're like,
we call them goodies.
Yeah. Yes, yeah. In Salvage Union, the main part of the game is salvaging things.
Loot.
Loot. And so in this game, you go out and get. So it's basically a hex crawl scenario. It's very, very simple. Let me see if I can find the map of it, because I did send it. One annoying thing is they didn't have the map as a separate handout, so I had to get a screenshot from the PDF and put it in there because it's spread over 2 pages, so that was a bit annoying. But let's see here. No, that's not it. It works really well in practice. In fact, Caleb, who is very bad at rolling dice, really like the game because it's a D20 system, but there's no modifiers to your roll. The only thing you can do is push your mech, causing more heat, which can eventually blow your mech up, or cause other catastrophic things. You have to but you do that to get a reroll on your D20, but that's it. You never add things, you never subtract things from it. It's always the same number too. It's like 1 through 4 is a failure, 1 through 5 is a fail, and 6 through 10 is like success with a complication. 11 through 19 is a normal success, and 20 is a critical success. And it works really well because a lot of the upgrades you get for your mech say you just hit. If you have a targeting module, you can just hit with your missiles. And so a lot of it is, like I don't have to roll the D20 anymore.
Okay, this is a design precept that I figured out at some point or observed and have had real successes with. You can go overboard with it, but it's like, what if your cool power for your character makes things easier? What if it removes a step? What if it's like, oh, formerly, before you got this cool ability, you had to calculate your bonus, and now it's just like no, or you had to calculate a penalty, and now no, there's no penalty, just roll it straight. And I do like that. That most games are pretty complicated. Well, many games are pretty complicated, and the idea that the most straightforward way to add stuff to them, it's like, oh, now I have this new superpower, now I have this new skill, now I have this new ability, is to add layers of complication on top, like toppings on a pizza. And instead, a lot of times, I'd probably pick this up from card games where it's like, no, now you just, a restriction that's usually there is gone.
Yeah.
So,
it's like we're locking the doors in Jurassic Park. Yeah.
Separate question, or my first question about Salvage Union: what does it do that Lancer doesn't?
Well, one thing, even though it is a complicated game in terms of like the lore is 4 pages and the mecha, the list of mecha and modules is 200 pages. So
wow, is it possible they know their audience, Ross? Is this?
It's true, but like it's more focused.
Big robots.
Yeah, it's not entirely focused on combat because again, salvage is a core component of the game,
right?
And you have to have like every mecha has a cargo capacity listed, and it also has you have to have like an arm in order to load a mecha. There's this emphasis on like you have to get the stuff and bring it home in order to pay your bills, or i.e. keep your home running. You need salvage in order to keep your Union crawler running.
Okay, so how economic is it on a scale of 0 to red markets?
It's not quite as intense as red markets, but there's like an upkeep every session. You have to make so much bounty, otherwise your home suffers. And you have to also use that to upgrade your mech. So there's budgeting required. It is more OSR than Lancer because again, straight D20s, no modifiers. There's a heat system, but it's easy to pick up, and the combat was a lot faster because things also like it's fixed damage for the most part. I believe like all the weapons did like 4 or 2 or whatever damage. So you weren't rolling dice, and it felt pretty. It was a lot faster than Lancer because there were not like hot reactive abilities as much. There were not as many like do this when this happens, or you can hack things, but we didn't really explore that too much. So it was definitely, and again, it doesn't use a grid. There's no map. There's no minis. There's just range bands, short, medium, and long range. And
so it's faster than Lancer. Is it better than Lancer? Because
I think it's more balanced because like the lore is so open, you can sort of just. I mean, it's like Lancer's very much focused on the Gundam mechas fighting all the time in a military sort of theme setting, and this is more like it's post-apocalyptic, right? You're trying to survive, and
it's kind of the big robots have fought, and you're what's left.
Yeah. And like one of the main things of our particular game was like trying to like this cargo plane broke up over a ruined city into different parts, and each part landed in a different part of the city. And the cockpit of it landed on top of a skyscraper, and so 2 of the characters had to figure out how to get their mechs or how to salvage something to the top of the skyscraper. And so like Aaron was like, "Oh, is there a crane nearby?" It's like, "Sure, why not? Well, I'll jury rig the crane so we can turn it on and go get it." And then of course the other pilot
climbing on the top of a crane after an apocalyptic level war sounds like an extremely safe and wise plan.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I improvised the rules for it, but it worked really well. It's a very dramatic scene, and Caleb's like, "Aaron, why are you doing this? This is so..." He's like, "It'll be fine, don't worry, Caleb." And so yeah, it was great. They almost died, and yeah.
So did they climb in the mech, or was this like the pilots scampering up there like Spider-Man?
Like I think one of
both those ideas are really bad, but
it was Aaron and Elle, and Elle went up as a pilot to go up there, and Aaron stayed behind and to pilot to control the crane. And so Elle, went up there, and like the dead crew turned into nano controlled zombies that attacked her, and she had to jump, latch the crane onto the cockpit and then jump onto the cockpit, and Aaron pulled it off before the nano zombies could kill her, and like it was a very dramatic scene. So yeah, there's a lot more stuff for pilots to do. Yeah.
Can I just interrupt here and say, could people in the chat stop saying crunch? Because I have a packet of pseudo hobnobs here, and it's like Pavlov's dog, I tell you. Please save my waste time.
What's a hobnob?
A hobnob is kind of, it's an OT, what we refer to as biscuits, and you would call cookies, but they're not cookies in the soft, chewy sense. They're hard-baked, OT sugary deliciousness. And this is a supermarket own brand stuff. Hobnob is owned by McVitie's, who also own Jaffa Cakes and stuff.
Okay.
They are one of the Prince of Biscuits. The only thing that can really improve them is if you put chocolate on them, which McVitie's and other people do, and they are just delightful. And they go very well with a cup of something hot.
If I have an opportunity to acquire hobnobs, I shall do so.
Also, they call hobnob. It's just a great name.
It is.
Oh, you simply must hobnob. Yes. Oh,
yes.
So Salvage Unit, I think, is a more balanced, like Lancer. It's crunchy, but not as much as Lancer.
Don't do it, Ross.
Yeah.
You said crunchy.
Yeah.
I'm going to be doing the whole of this live stream with my mouth full.
Yeah, I think it's a more balanced mecha RPG, and like,
do we use?
the last thing I want to say is that the players at the end of the game wanted me to run more of it. They wanted to do a campaign of it. So they're even Caleb, who is again like notoriously not into super tactical rule trad RPG combat. So I'm avoiding the that particular word. So
do we use that word as a synonym or a near synonym for simulationist, or is it just a measure of complexity?
I think complexity, because like you can have a very detailed gamist game, something that like I would say like Lancer's gamist. It's not simulating like these
enjoyable complexity. I think the enjoyability of it is really, it's like the crunch in cornflakes as well. If cornflakes didn't crunch, you wouldn't eat them. It has to be, there has to be that level of, these are very, there's a lot of mechanics, but the way they interlock and the way you use them is pleasurable, and engaging with those systems is pleasurable. That for me is the heart of crunch.
There don't have to be a lot if they have emergent complexity and choices that matter.
Like in video games, like you have what they call like immersive sims, where there's like the gameplay seems to be relatively simple at first, but like there's so many interlocking systems that you're like, oh, I can use stealth and avoid the guards, or I can poison their water and take them out that way, or I can cause a bunch of noise over here and lure them away, or I can just go in guns blazing, and that kind of thing. So or like some turn-based RPG where you have so many powers and abilities that everything sort of interlocks, and like once you get a really good combo going, you're like, aha, I've broken this game wide open. All right. So that was one game I played, salvaging. The other one I did was the Zone, and here it is. The Zone is Caleb's. Caleb had a copy of this, and it is a surreal play to lose horror RPG.
Play to lose,
and it requires a good amount of improvising. Sorry.
All right, what qualifies as loss?
Your character dies or gets horribly mutated by its emphasis. It's inspired by Stalker, Roadside Picnic, Annihilation, the Southern Reach trilogy. And
I was gonna guess Annihilation.
Those books there's a fourth one coming out. They are banging. I've tried to memorize that stream of text that does not appear in the movie, but it is a central theme of the books. It's so good.
So you're like the member of the 13th expedition or something like that, and you're going in, and you're no one's expecting you to come back, and basically it's the game literally structured as a you build a spiral of cards representing your locations all the way to the heart of it, and there are these fate cards, and all the players draw one, and only one of them is going to make it in if there's 4 players, you put them in the last 4 locations. and one of those, if you're not the one who fake heart is on the last location of the heart, that means you're going to die at that location, or you're going to be taken out of play at that location. Everybody but one player character is guaranteed to die, or be absorbed by the zone.
What's
or
the
mutated.
line from Job? And I alone escaped to tell the tale.
Well, you don't even escape either. The person at the heart, gets their wish, but the other players who die get to interpret how that wish is granted. It's
and they're salty.
Yeah, and so it's a really good game to play if you're into improvising. Like if you can get players who are really into this kind of, you have a phobia and an obsession, and if you can really play off of that, like I recorded. Obviously, it'll be on RPPR. So it's a very good game if you think everyone at the table. Yeah.
Question from Released is Lucky 13. No, this was a misfire. We're talking about The Zone. Lucky 13 would be a good title, though.
Yeah. So The Zone. It's a fun game. Doesn't take too long to set up. It's actually recommended you play in the dark with like lanterns or flashlights to play it to sort of get you into the mood. There's a soundtrack.
So you can't read the rule book.
Yeah, we had to have like our phones out to read like the cards in certain sections. Like,
I love that as a concept, but it has so many practical problems.
Especially if your eyes are getting weak.
My wife Maddie actually played 10 Candles with some friends right when one of their friends moved to a new house, and like before everything had been moved in, so it's like this empty house. They turned to play with just the candles, and like 10 Candles is rules light enough that you can memorize the rules. You don't have to refer to anything, and that was like one of Maddie's best role-playing experiences, because you're just putting these candles out and narrating the end of the world in this empty house at night. I think it was during a storm too.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Did the friend ever move into the house, or were they?
Oh yeah, this is like the first night they were moved into. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
So
I think like
that is not the way I would have initiated a new house.
Yeah, well, they just do things differently in Australia. So, but
this is. I never knew there was an answer to the question, what is the opposite of saging a house? But here we are.
Yeah, just role play the end of the world, and your candles get snuffed out.
It's got to be like a dinner bell for bad vibes. Come and get it.
It's fun.
Soup's on.
So that's what I've been role playing lately. Aside from a friend finally picking up his D&D 5th ed campaign, so that hopefully we'll be able to finish up this month. But yeah. Oh, and I am starting. I did session 0 for Fabula Ultima.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I need to make my character, but we talked about it's going to be like a dot hack kind of thing where we're the Fabula Ultima represents the MMO we play, and then we role play also as our character, or as people playing this very like VR super advanced MMO, and then bad things happen. So
that's Sword
Art Online.
Well, I don't think we'll be trapped into it. I think it's just like the real world is bad too. It's like a cyberpunk dystopia.
Let me hold on. Let me see if I've got it. That there's the anime Sword Art Online, which was about a game that synthesizes being in a fantasy world. And now this is the role-playing game that simulates the setting of the Sword Art Online, only it's a different... It's getting layered.
We're getting meta all the time.
Yeah.
This is... It feels like you're gonna cross some kind of event horizon here, Ross.
Well, this is more like theme like dot hack. So it's
I don't know dot hack. What's
dot hack? Was
who's she?
It's a.
She writes a lot.
Yeah, there's anime. There's a let's see here. Oh, where's the anime series? There's the anime series. There's video games and anime. Here it is. It is. So it's about people who play an MMO, but like they're also real. It's also talking about the people playing the video game, and so
okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. So we're using Fabia Ultima for that. Bridget's running that RPPRs. Most innovative GM. Yeah.
Is it going to be like this split where it's like, oh, in the game we're all heroic and having a great time, and it's, you know, a life of luxury, adventure, and wonder, and then our real lives are like, yeah, I gotta pick up another. I'm gonna have to take a second job. I think there's one open at the laundromat, and if I can just do the overnights at the laundromat, I think I'll be okay. But you get the weird crowd wanting to clean their clothes
it's more
after dark.
Dystopian, where if you get
more
too
dystopian
far
than the laundromat. Great.
Where if you get too far into debt, you can be like basically enslaved through economic indenture to a large corporation. So in the real world, and never escape it. But yeah, I don't want to spoil too much. We just did the session 0, but yeah. Anyways, that's all I've been playing lately. James, have you been playing anything, board game or RPG lately?
It's playtesting new stuff, I'm afraid, half of which I can't talk about. I do have a silly little superhero game that I'm really pleased with called Wham Bam Hero Slam. That I will be. It's one of those, you do your first deck and you think this is going to need a lot of refinement, and you play it and you just go, we're basically done, aren't we? This is kind of all we need. So yeah, it's a deck of cards. Each card has one word to do with superheroes on it. You've got a bunch in your hand. Each turn you play 2 cards as a superhero, and you have to beat the superhero describe why your hero will beat the superhero of the guy who just played. And that's basically it. And you go round and round the table trying to beat each other's heroes. Very silly, descriptive, narrative stuff.
So what determines whether, you know, your icy parental tragedy beats their, I don't know, fiery insect theme?
Well, sometimes it's obvious, you know, if Iron Moon has been tramping round the table, defeating everyone, and you've got Captain Magnet, okay, Iron Moon is toast, fairly obviously. Mm-hmm. If it's closer than that, it's the other players. The other players ask you questions, you attempt to justify them, and then the other players decide who wins.
So it's rhetorical determining.
It's a player vote thing.
Okay, yeah.
So because that's us, it's a popularity contest.
Yeah,
more like a party game. Yeah,
it's very much a party game. There is no strategy to this at all, apart from always, you know, try and vote for the hero when it's coming around to your turn. Vote for the hero that you know you can beat.
Makes sense.
All right,
cool. Greg,
that's about it.
Let's see. I've just been.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, James. You had more, James.
I was just going to say, I did mention this to the guys. I finally finished writing Cyberplunk, which was my major contribution to the Ludonarrative Dissidents.
Your white whale.
Part of the season 3 Kickstarter, which I thought was going to be a stupid little 1 or 2 page parody of Dread, and is now something I'm genuinely quite proud of, because mechanically, I think it's really quite interesting. It uses Kerplunk as the central tower, as the central mechanic, essentially. You know, to do a task in the same way as playing Dread with Jenga, you pull sticks out to do a task. But balls may fall, and depending on the number of balls, that's kind of how badly if a ball falls, you've failed. If a lot of balls fall, you really failed. But also you put dice in there, different colored dice, each one representing one of the players, and they may fall. And that creates links between your character and theirs and reasons for them to hate you. It's my take on Cyberpunk, kind of. It's not a complete Cyberpunk game.
James. This sounds like you were just trying. This sounds like you were trying to do a goof and you tripped over your own talent. Good job. Congratulations.
Yeah, you might be cooking.
I will get that on a T-shirt, Greg. Yeah. So I'll be writing that up. Well, I'll be showing it to a couple of people. Then I'll be writing it up. And we'll finally get the damn zine out to you.
Yeah.
If you were a season 3 backer.
Yeah.
All I've been playing games-wise, we've got the Wednesday night, board game and card game night at the local library, where I go and my friend brings something like Azul that he's played numerous times and I've played once, and he kicks my ass at it, and I'm like, oh, okay, but it's still kind of fun. Mm-hmm. I like Azul. Yeah. I accept my limitation. I'm like, there's something going on here, and in like 5 or 6 more games, I think I'll get it. And then the ongoing Sunday night or Sunday really Sunday morning, late Sunday morning, Unknown Armies game, in which my weaselly semi-reformed housebreaker, he's stopped breaking into houses, but he still has to stop himself from just casually pocketing stuff when he's in somebody's house, has gone to LA to try and sell his movie, and it has been picked up by World Wrestling Entertainment, and he thinks this is gonna be just fine.
Oh.
So yeah, doing that, working on. I'm very, very slowly picking away at a dying breath scenario called Damocles Awaits.
Mm-hmm.
I'm mostly pleased with it because you could run it at a convention and demo character generation, because Dying Breath is a pretty simple game. It's mushy as opposed to crunchy, I guess. And so character generation can be really fast, whether you plan it or do it randomly. But in most scenarios, it's like, well, you have to be together for some reason. You have to have some unifying factor. But in Damocles Awaits, the unifying factor is that you've all been kidnapped by the same cult because of your birth dates. They're zodiac maniacs, and you have been, bunged up in somebody's disused hunting lodge. And the first part of it is, okay, can you escape? How are you going to try and escape? Can you figure out where you are? Can you suborn one of the guards? Can you acquire the materials you need to get these shackles off? And it just goes from there. And it'll be interesting to see how this reacts when actual players are thrown in there, because they're going to have characters like, I'm a circus. And I would love to do it where it's like, yeah, just make up any character who might be alive in 1920. Just any idea at all, and you could get whatever. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
I
It's like thinking about it, I'm like, oh, it's the antimatter twin of Jailbreak, where you're all forced into an obscure house out in the middle of nowhere, but you need to cooperate instead of explode at each other.
Oh, that sounds fun. Yeah. You're mentioning Azul. I do like, but I have a board game group, and people I regularly play board games with, and one of them, she went to Portugal last year. So every time we play Azul, she, that's the person who's been closest to Portugal. So she's like, well, you're going to be first for the rest of our lives. I don't think I'm going to visit Portugal anytime soon. So yeah, she even got some tiles from a factory for us as a little gift. So yeah,
I got the chocolate. Apparently, there's a chocolate version of it. Not actually
it's
made
not
out
actually
of chocolate.
It's about chocolate. It's
about chocolate. But I'm sure the beautiful little tile pieces are representing bonbons, right?
Yeah, the tactile elements of Azul cannot be understated. Like they're very good.
It's one of those. As Patchwork first said in the comments, it's a push tiles together, they go clack game, and that has driven so many great games. Rummy Cub, I talk about. Rummy Cub is just the card game Rummy, but played with small tiles that go clack when you push them together. Mahjong is basically Rummy, but with variants. It makes a huge difference. That's the sound, the feel of them in your hand, the weight of them in your hand. And the Azul stuff is so beautifully done. They're gorgeous as well, which cannot be said about the Rummy Cub tiles, which are faintly grotesque. The Jokers are weird, disturbing smiley faces.
Rummy Cub, CUB,
KUB.
Oh, KUB. Okay, yeah.
Even better.
Let's take a look.
So this is making me want to, my dust off my quixotic quest to do a new set of mechanics for Progenitor, where it's tile draws. And yeah,
Okay, yeah, that's not a great face.
Yeah.
Can you zoom in? I can.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let me blow it up a little bigger here. 30. And
yeah, it's with slightly blotchy printing on the tiles. It's slightly more disturbing than that.
let's see. Okay, there we go.
Wow, yeah, those are some "none of you are safe" vibes.
Yeah,
right?
that's
Yeah.
It feels like the opening of like a new analog horror series or creepypasta, you know, like the Cursed Rhymy Cub set. So yeah. Gosh. Yeah, terrifying. Anyway. Yeah. So although you mentioned Mahjong. And Mahjong is one of these games I don't understand how to play, and I never probably will. Yeah, but I appreciate it. And that's entirely because of there's a whole genre of mahjong manga and anime, and some of it's been translated to English. So, and I love it. There's one series in particular I've watched all of it, and it's called Akagi. And you know, it's done as this shonen.
It's called what?
Akagi. So that's
A-K-A-G-I?
yeah. Here I'll load up a little more. And Akagi is there's like a full series of it on Crunchyroll. It's like 20 some episodes, and there's no character development, there's no moral lesson. It's just this guy who's young and he's really fucking good at mahjong. You don't understand how good he is at mahjong. He's better than that. All right. He's
just jonging it.
He's just the most manly teenager
all night, all day, jonging it.
It starts with him playing a death-defying game of chicken, and then just entering a yakuza mahjong parlor to shake the police trails. He's unfamiliar with the rules, but his just gambling intuition saves him, and it just goes on. And every single episode, oh, is he gonna lose? Oh, they're cheating in this one, and he's like, oh, he's gonna do this move, and yet, oh no, he won again. And it just goes on for like 20 episodes. And I'm just spellbound by it because it's just this narrator and these characters like, oh, is Akagi gonna lose? No, he's not gonna lose. Oh, he's gonna lose this time. Oh, so the series
Why
finale
is this fun? Yeah.
Because there's no more. They don't give a shit about moral narratives or character arcs. It's just like he's really good at mahjong, guys. Like, and they keep coming up with more progressive.
Sound like a
it is
development to me.
The way they tell the story, there's so much suspension tension. They're like, oh, because these characters freak out about like, oh, the odds are stacked against Kagi. If he loses this match, they're gonna kill him. They're gonna take his knees out. They're gonna like, the final story arc is his opponent is called the Vampire because he's this old rich guy who's so bored with life that he's developed this way of playing a deadly mahjong by hooking both players up with a blood draining machine. And so you make bets with your blood, and if you lose, they drain your blood. And so Akagi Akagi's playing for money, but he has to every time he loses, he loses some blood. Sorry, yeah.
Wow.
Do you get the other person's blood?
Yeah, you can. Like, yeah, because Akagi has to bait the old guy into making more and more bets, and like it's like once he starts winning, he's like, "Come on, old man, you want to keep gambling? I bet you can win one more time," and like baiting him into like taking these preposterous risks. And they even so spoiler for it, like how could Akagi...
Does he win the last one?
Oh well, like the mahjong goes on, or the manga goes on for like original run 1991 to 2018. It goes on a lot. It's sold over 12 million copies, and
wow,
the anime is only 26 episodes, so they only get a fraction of a portion of this. So they figure out, oh, Akagi's gonna pass out any moment. He's lost so much blood, but like Akagi somehow pulls it through, and they reveal. Akagi reveals, yes, I knew before going into this match that they'd be doing this, so I had more blood pumped into me. I had more blood than I was supposed to have. I was just chock full of blood, and it's so dumb. I love it.
And
wow.
they They probably did this in 1991, and some professional cyclist is like, cheating by having extra blood.
Not cheating. There was no rule against it. He just like
nothing in the rules says that
so you can't have more blood.
Can't play mahjong.
Yeah.
Weird Squared said what I thought. I was thinking it sounds a lot like Yu-Gi-Oh! That this is clearly a universe that pays a lot more attention to one particular game than anything in our universe does. Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean, I don't know very much about it. It does appear to be that most of the world is obsessed with this game that allows you to physically summon the weirdest shit using a deck of cards. I remember one that was a combat on a roller coaster, or I think 2 parallel roller coasters, and they're just kind of firing giant robots and phoenixes and the weird. It's I cannot get my head around Yu-Gi-Oh! It's these young people. They're just not playing games right.
The young people take them in hand with their proper.
So I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh, but I do know a little bit about it. So Yu-Gi-Oh started as a manga that was just like this kid who found an ancient artifact that like let him be possessed by the god of gaming, the god of gambling, and this Egyptian god. And in the first couple of series, it wasn't even focused on this card game. It was focused on just like gambling and taking risks. And like Yu-Gi-Oh made like someone shoot himself in the head, like because he failed a risk. Like it was very dark, and it was just about like this kind of high risks. You failed, you're going in the shadow realm, But like once he came in with this fictional card game just to justify the manga story going forward, like, oh, let's just make this into a real game, and it took off, and so it became all about the fictional card game becoming a real card game, and it's the thing I like about it, because it's a typical shonen thing, which is just like the hero starts out and he has to train and he has to fight, and then he fights he learns something, and then he has to fight a stronger opponent, then he has to fight a stronger opponent, and like the fighting it's all about the craft, like whatever the competition is, whether it's martial arts or a card game or mahjong or whatever, it's all about how you can perform in this competition, and it's all about this tradecraft and expertise, and like it's all inside baseball basically, but about Yu-Gi-Oh or whatever. And like I love it because they get, oh, he's going to try this, but it's about this, it's about the fading, and like and that's what shonen anime is about, until it gets ridiculous, until they run out of cosmic things to fight. You start out as like, I'm just a kid and I played a card game, to like, the fate of the world's on your hand, Yugi. If you don't do this, we're all gonna have our souls drained by the shadow realm. And like, there's this progression, and like it's so silly and absurd that I love that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah. There's another anime series called Baki, and Baki's even more ridiculous. Greg, you would appreciate this, because Baki's technically
Dan watched this. My son watched Baki.
Yeah, it's technically about martial arts. And these are but just look at how many muscles these guys have.
Oh my God.
Yeah, they are very, very manly men, being very manly, and their
how many
martial arts
abs does that guy have?
The anatomy
his abs have
of
abs.
His abs have abs, and it's all about like, oh, he learned this technique. Is it strong enough to defeat this technique in this fighter? Well, we'll find out. It'll take 10 episodes to get through this one fight, but it's going to be very suspenseful, and it's very silly, but like
I mean, it feels like you could do. These are going to turn into James Joyce's Ulysses, where it's okay, so yes, the entire 21 episode series takes place during one fight, but everything they do in that fight, from he steps back and takes a breath, and this reminds him of an episode from his childhood, and the other guy, when he tastes the blood from being punched, it takes him back to his 8th birthday party when he fell down this, and it
That reminds me, have you ever read Life a User's Manual by Georges Perec, the French Oulipo writer, which the entire book takes place in a split second? It's time is frozen, and it's a description of a French boarding house or apartment house which it has 8 floors and 8 rooms on each floor. So it's an 8x8. So it's a chessboard. And the way that we move between the rooms is the Knights game, the Knights puzzle, which is the puzzle of, can you move a knight on a chessboard so that it visits each square only once? This is a very Ulipuan or Perekian conceit. And at no point does the book say it's doing that. You just have to work it out for itself. But he visits each of the apartments and he describes the contents of the apartment. He describes who lives there, though they are not there at the time. And you get to understand their lives and how their lives intersect. It's a jigsaw puzzle, essentially. Each room is like a piece of a jigsaw, and it all fits together. And the central theme of the book is also jigsaw puzzles. And Perek is the master of the last line sucker punch, the final paragraph of the book, or the final line of the book that makes you reappraise the entire rest of the book. And I think it won in the Prix Goncourt, which is the major French literary award. It is a masterpiece. It is an extraordinary book. I really need to rewrite. It's a delight as well. It's very funny. He's a very funny writer. But that thing of just the whole thing just being this tiny fraction of time containing all these stories, mostly in flashback. It's amazing.
It reminds me of two things. Building Stories by Chris Ware, which is a deconstructed graphic novel in a box, because there are all these intersecting narratives and it doesn't matter what order you read them in. And it's complicated, and it's good. It's heartbreaking. It's gonna be some Chris Ware depressing stuff, and just bleak unflinching examinations of sad quotidian lives. So there's that. It also makes me think of The Mezzanine by Nicholson Baker, which is, the entire plot of it is a man has run out of paper clips in his office. He must journey from his office to the office supply store on the mezzanine level of the building. And but he's thinking a lot of things.
Interesting.
Yeah, and that sounds very Nicholson Baker.
Before he went nuts,
Did he? I missed that.
He did not react.
Nicholson Baker nuts.
Oh no! Safe search, James. Safe search.
Oh.
No. If I'm remembering correctly, he wrote Vox, which was the super horny one, and he wrote the Fermata, which was the horny time-stopping one. And then George W. Bush got elected, and he just could not cope with it, and I think wrote a novel which was all about how George Bush's wife was only with him because he was well hung, and then it got even screwier and screwier. So
it does say he was he believed COVID was a lab leak, so
the George W. Bush one is Checkpoint. It's a dialogue between two old high school friends, Jay and Ben, discussing Jay's plans to assassinate the president.
That's the one. And I'm like,
wow, I didn't know that.
Greg should just make up novel descriptions now and then. They wouldn't be as good. My misremembrance is clearly more dramatic.
Yeah. Well, it's probably something in there about how well hung George W. Bush was.
That feels like the kind of thing I hope to God I wouldn't make up. I'm like, what? It's well established, though, that my subconscious hates me based on the nightmares and what I can only describe as night pranks. Yeah, my subconscious hates me, so confabulating something that will make me look like a dingus is well within its purview.
Fair enough.
Fair
enough. Just
Sorry,
apropos of nothing, just kind of things from the last few days or the last month. I found this again. I thought I'd lost it. And my apologies if you follow me on Blue Sky, because I tweeted about it on Blue Sky. This is a long dice.
D8.
This is a D8. It's 8-sided. It was sold to me probably, I think, sometime in the early 90s or the late 80s. And I was told at the Antiques Fair that it was made out of a mutton bone by a Napoleonic prisoner of war around 1800 or so, which is almost certainly untrue. There is, apart from anything else, I can't find any French games from around then that would have, or gambling games that would have required an 8-sided dice. Secondly, the French weren't using these pips on dice about that time. Those pips date back to the Romans. I mean, they've been used all through history, and you can still find them on dice today. But that dot and circle pattern is 2,000 years old easily. The other thing is, I don't think it's bone. It's heavier than that. And the end of a bone, one of the giveaways that something is bone and not ivory is that the end of the bone has a kind of an end grain to it. It'll flex, it'll almost pause for the structure of the bone, and ivory doesn't, and that doesn't. But if it was ivory, then it was illegal for them to sell it to me, which may be why I got it for a stupidly cheap price, because if they didn't have any documentation for it, proving that it that it was over a certain age, then they just couldn't have sold it at all.
There's got to be a way to test for ivory that
DNA.
Isn't destructive.
It's not really. I mean, you can prove it's not synthetic by putting a hot pin against it, because a synthetic will melt.
Okay.
But beyond that, it tends to be, there's a ring test if you actually want to cut through it. But it tends to be, as I understand it, and it is heavier as well.
Have you tried licking it? That's that's how geologists do the quick field test. Is this stone or bone? If it is bone, it will stick to your tongue. If it's stone, it won't.
No, it's smooth. It's buttery smooth. I mean, that could be because it's been polished smooth by generations of hands using it. I think it's Indian, because the last time I looked into it, and I've lost this for about 10 years, and I finally found it a few days ago. And I was genuine, because it's like the moment in the Christopher Nolan movie. What's the one that you have? Inception, yes. The talismans. This is talismans that kind of follows me through my life, and I feel it's almost a part of me. And I was genuinely very, very upset that I thought it had got lost somewhere.
So now that you've found it, you know you're not dreaming. I'm sorry.
I know I'm not dreaming.
I'm sorry.
Well, it doesn't spin, or it doesn't roll like a D100 would. But on the off chance that any of you do know anything about long dice, and long dice go back prior to the Romans, I mean, back to the Egyptians. They were using kind of throwing sticks to play games like Senet, and they just kind of evolved into long dice. And there's a fantastic game called Put and Get, which is Put and Take, which actually evolved from a British game called Long Langston, I think, which uses a 4-sided long dice. It's a fascinating thing. I was at an exhibition at the weekend with my youngest, because I've said before, she's a classicist. She loves this stuff. It was an exhibition of stuff that has been mudlarked up out of the Thames.
Oh boy,
mudlarking. Yeah.
Mudlarking. You require a permit to get things out of the mud of the River Thames. And there's a huge boom at the moment, because people have discovered that if social media loves this stuff, there are people making a living from Instagram and TikTok mudlarking. But this was some of the slightly more respectable ones, and we actually got to handle actual Roman coins and stuff.
Cool.
It's extraordinary that these tiny coins have survived 2,000 years in the mud of the Thames, but apparently Thames mud is almost inert, so stuff just doesn't rot.
No, actually,
so they're pulling bits of clothing out. Someone had pulled a silk rose out that was about 100 years old, and you could still, it was basically whole.
The American version of this is magnet fishing, where you get a hella powerful magnet and just crawl down a waterway and see what comes up. There was, I'm remembering the meme I saw was, man displays collection of knives he's found in the river behind his home, and it's like 17 different knives. And he's just like, and someone shared with the caption, "Somebody is about to become a suspect in a string of grisly murders."
Oh, there's YouTubers who do that magnet thing, and like it's a regular. Hey, we found another gun. You know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's just a ongoing thing. There's actually a similar thing where people will go diving. I remember seeing a video on YouTube. Let me see if we can find it. Where they in Texas City, San Antonio, that has a river walk in the city, and like dive. And so like this guy went in there. Here it is. I don't know if this is the same guy, but it's one of them. He dived in there and in the river walk, and I'll mute it, but I'll put it up. And he would just let's see here.
So this is like, what if detectorists were extreme?
Yeah, and so he's just, but like a lot of it is also just like finding. Let's see if he can actually goes in there. Gets in. There we go. So yeah, he's going in the just snorkeling there, finding trash. But like I remember another video where a guy went in there and he was just pulling up electric scooter after electric scooter. Like so you can see. You know, just people will be tossing these things in there, but like not quite as glamorous as Roman coins or anything like that. But like, it's America, yeah. So
why are people throwing away perfectly good electric scooters? Just
because they're rented, like they're just like
because people because they
Do you not want to pay the bill? Chuck it in
well,
the river.
or they're just drunk and they're having fun.
Yeah.
So, but obviously not quite as glamorous as mudlarking in the town.
Yeah. But the reason I mentioned the mudlarking, just to get back to it, is most of the people there had dice. A lot of dice end up in the river, it seems.
Sure.
Quite possibly because a lot of them are small. I mean, these are think of the smallest dice you've seen. I can remember, I think some 4mm dice. A bunch of them are that kind of size, really tiny. Presumably because gambling was generally illegal, and if you've got a dice, you want to be able to lose it really fast.
Toss it
needs
in
to
the
be
water.
Inconspicuous. But the Roman dice, I don't know if you know this. Roman dice are weird because they're not cubic; they're rectangular. They're just off because luck was in the hands of the gods. It wasn't about probability. I mean, they knew a little about probability, but luck was in the hand of the gods. Plus, also, if everyone's using the same dice, you can tell which dice is yours because it's slightly off. But also because it's everyone's using the same dice. Everyone's got the same odds. Those ones are comparatively regular by the standards of some of them. Some of them were just weirdly,
Well, they're all handcrafted.
I mean, just pressed out of clay. Very, simple jobs, baked clay if you're lucky. Some of it just kind of sun hardened, some wood, few metal ones. But it was extraordinary to see. The other thing people were digging up were teetotums, which are they're like dreidels, randomizers that you spin. And again, there was somebody had got one. I think it was made out of cellulose. I wasn't sure, but you could see the mold marks on it, tiny, about that long. And again, it's a 6-sided thing, and it's a gambling game. It's put one,
and that would have been
two, put all.
What, like 150 years, 100 years?
How cellulose old? Probably about 120, I think. I don't know much about cellulose. I'm surprised it survived that long.
That sounds like something. But there's that's a lot more decay prone.
People have a bunch of brass and bronze ones.
Yeah.
Because this is a game that's been around for a long, long time.
Sure.
But yes, and just we love to game. We love to, even if it's just a tiny little thing that fits in your pocket. And I'm a games designer. I always have a D6 somewhere it's somewhere about my person, with which I play the game that was taught to me as Hampshire Hog, but is better known as Pig. Have I done my little thing about Pig? It's the great push your luck game. We've got time.
Sure.
Take a dice. You roll on your turn. You roll the dice. If it's a 1, your score for the turn is 0, and you have to pass the dice. But if it's anything else, that is your score, and then you have an interesting decision, as Sid Meier would phrase it. You can either bank your score for the turn and pass the dice, or you can roll again. So I roll. You've just rolled 13. I roll a 2. Obviously, I'm carrying on. 3. 1. But now the probability monkey in the back of my head is going, I've rolled 3 times. There's a 50-50 chance my next roll is going to be a 1. So, no, that's not how probability works. That's but we're very bad at probability. So
probability is the only thing that has worse memory than me.
Yeah. So you pass the dice on, and this has been a folk game for at least 100, probably 120 years or so. And you may have come across it because the clue is in the name. If anyone has played Pass the Pigs, which has sold 70 million copies, Pass the Pigs is exactly the same game as Pig, just replaces the dice with plastic pigs. That's all it takes to make a 70 million copy best-selling game.
Those pigs are pretty cute, James.
Yeah. The pigs are pretty cute.
It sounds like the sort of Precambrian ancestor of Cosmic Wimp, not Cosmic Wimp Out. The Push Your Luck dice game. Is that Cosmic Wimp Out?
I think.
Or am I getting
I've
the title?
I've never actually seen a copy of it, but yes, I believe so. And Poker Dice as well, and a whole bunch of those.
Cosmic Wimp Out's good.
Simple. Blue Magnus Stormcrow says all probabilities 50-50. Things either happen or they don't. It's that simple. Simple as. I remember.
You've convinced me. Lottery tickets ahoy.
Yeah, well, I remember like when they were about to turn on the large hadron collider, I believe, and like some guy was petitioning, no, because there's a chance it could cause a chain reaction in the world, or something like that. And the guy was like, well, either happen or it won't. So there's a 50% chance the world could end if they turn that on. It's like I don't think that's how that works. But you tell me.
He's a scientist.
Yeah.
It's like the scientists don't help themselves by saying, yes, well, it's quite improbable that would happen. It's like what they mean is there's an infinitesimal chance that is not 0, and everyone else interprets that as well. It might as well be 50-50.
Yeah,
it's about the odds. Like if you took a handful of busted pieces and threw them as hard as you could at the floor, and they just spontaneously locked and landed in the position of a complete teacup. About that probability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The spontaneous appearance of a weasel, something.
Yeah, I did watch Superman not too long ago. It's come out on digital services, and I do remember there's a scene where like they have a bunch of monkeys at typewriters, but they're all typing angry comments, anti-Superman comments, because it's Lex Luthor, of course, and that's how his plan works. And
great throwaway gag that probably cost about $500,000 in special effects.
Oh, sure, yeah, a lot of CGI. Fortunately, they're all CGI monkeys. They did not try and actually make monkeys write troll comments on. But anyway, it's a fun movie. But let's see. We're about out of time. Any questions for us? For those of you watching, before we get going?
Oh, should I show people the cool thing that arrived?
Oh, yes, please. Yeah. Do that. Yeah.
So I have been trying to get the cover of this self-published book to print correctly. The first version of it I got looked like this.
Very minimalist.
So I've been redoing it, and we'll be having the Kickstarter for a collection of 14 stories, most of them disquieting, coming soon. But the more immediate thing, I gotta self-promote. Forgive me, but if you sign up for one of the paying tiers on www.gregstolze.com today or tomorrow, I will give you the full text of. Oh, if you, Ross, can you click on the Moon Silver Crown up there? Mm-hmm. There's some cool art. So that's Heather Hudson art, known from Delta Green, and so this is the serial I've been doing for quite some time, and I've completed the first chunk of it. I'm going to start the next chunk of it like next Tuesday, the Moon Silver Ring, high fantasy, death cult, nations collapsing story. And so the first book is basically how this country got destroyed. And the second book is here's how the heir to the throne tries to get it back. And so, sign up today or tomorrow, and you can get all 54 chapters of it, just as a
very
special
important
bonus.
question, Greg. Is
Yes.
the black cover version going to be available for a higher pledge level?
No, it's going in the hole where it belongs.
Okay, yeah. So that's the collector's
You goths
item.
take things too far.
No, I hear you. That's the one you'll be eBaying yourself as the rare.
Yeah. Once I'm really sick and have medical debt, I'll be auctioning the. It's
Yeah,
a one of a kind.
There you go. You gotta have the one of a kind. Yeah.
The ash can copy that printed up badly. Please, I'm dying and need money.
So be sure to check out gregstolze.com and sign up for that, and you'll follow us on social media or join our Discord channel, because I'm sure the Kickstarter will be linked on.
Yeah. As soon as I start fulfilling the last one, I'll probably launch the next one, because I want people to get the start getting their rewards for the first one and be like, okay, yeah, he did it. He completed his Kickstarter and is fulfilling it. I trust him to do this next one.
There you go. Yeah, cool. James, anything you want to, any upcoming crowdfunding or anything else you want to plug?
I know I finally finished writing Cyberplunk. I can start on my next stupid little game, which I need to get out of my head by writing it down, which I may have muttered about before, which is 808s in the Vineyard. 808s you can write like dogs in the vineyard, which is it is the 90s, and you're in the West America, and it's religious territory, and you're there's trouble, the settlements,
you're a DJ?
There's trouble in the you are a touring early 90s dance act, yes. That's basically it. That's the gag. Vincent Baker says it's fine. He's very happy for me to do this. I have acquired his permission. It's what I'm planning to do with it is do it just, I will write it and it'll probably be about 8 pages, but I will then kickstart it and it'll be $1. But for every probably $100 it raises, if it raises that much, I'll add another page. And if anyone wants me to write a page on anything in particular, that'll be slightly less. It's a stupid thing. I want to get it out of my head.
This is a personal question, but how long is it, Cyberplunk?
Cyberplunk is, I think, I haven't actually done a word count on it. Including my notes, the document is 25 pages. I think the written thing is actually about 8. I make a lot of notes.
Okay. I'm not gonna hate on your process.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, the description of it you gave just here, I'm like, this seems so neat and seems to, click on to our discussion of the tactile delights of clicky tile games. I'm like, this could be a real tactile delight game. And that I love Dread and the the tension inherent in this is a frail system that can only get frailer. So it feels like there's a lot that could go right.
Yeah,
here.
I think you're onto something. I do want to mention one thing. The next thing coming out on the RPPR Patreon is we talked about Kremen, the cross-dimensional souped-up hero RPG that's 837 pages, 400 which are random tables about generating different dimensions. I actually did an actual play of it with my friend Chris, Bridget, and Juicy Garland, and it is this is the adventure. It is just the worst adventure. Not like it's just on there's so much going on in here. Part of it is that like there's 7 pages describing a mall that's entirely optional. Like you don't have to go into this mall. There's just regular people in the mall. The villains are in the basement, in a fallout shelter in the basement of this mall. And you're supposed to start in the fallout shelter fighting the villains almost immediately. But there's just, look at all the pages of all these things. And they just describe a store. There's nothing gaming about it. it's just pages of like, here's put it on a stick. This tiny restaurant has just enough room inside for 2 tables, 4 chairs, and a counter. They don't have plates of trays. All food here is served on a stick. Want a banana? They'll put it on a stick. Care for a salad? They'll put it on a stick. Want a tuna salad? Well, they can't help you, but they'll be more than happy to put some fish meat and some chunks of bread on a stick for you. They make an enthusiastic, if foolhardy attempt at a pizza on a stick too. Like this just goes on and on and on, and like,
someone is a generous writer.
Yeah.
Somebody in the Discord linked earlier in the week to the YouTubers who eat, military rations from the 1940s and stuff like that. And Ross, that's you for role-playing games. I mean, you dig out the most disgusting, the most unpalatable stuff you can find, and you run it anyway for our edification. And God bless you for doing it, sir.
So it's coming up on the RPPR Patreon, patreon.com/RPPR.
Okay.
That's coming out pretty soon. I just need to edit it, and that's something to look forward to.
So, Ross,
yeah.
Do you remember the television program Whose Line Is It Anyway? And two of the comedians.
Originally.
Oh yeah.
I'm thinking of two of the American guys who did it. And they had set up some kind of, I don't think it was on Whose Line. I think it was on some kind of spinoff. And the way the game worked, I want to say they were throwing live mouse traps at each other. The
it sounds more like Jackass than,
Yeah.
And
I'm throwing live mouse traps.
Do you ever feel that maybe...
Look, I can't get enough of these things. Like bad movies. Like I just gotta see. Like, because they're bad in interesting ways. Yeah, like
cradling his mousetrap to his heart, saying, "You don't understand what we have."
Because it's such an insight into the person's view. It's not like Hollywood movies that are bad are boring, or are bad in a boring way, a predictable way. But
fair.
No one's going to look at a Neil Breen movie and say, "Oh, this I've seen this before." No, you haven't. No one's seen this before. It doesn't and so these RPGs are even weirder because it's just some guy with hypergraphia who's just writing everything that comes out of his has not heard of the concept of editing. It's just like, whatever I write, it's gold. Put it in there. I just what's going on in here? What's the it takes a certain level of creativity to whale biting as a skill, as in an RPG. There's
whale biting with your teeth.
Yes, there's specifically a skill in this RPG to bite whales. And it's not useful. You can't use it on dolphins or fish. It's only whales. Yeah. Yeah, so
they're a different category of being. Whales are mammals, Ross.
Yeah, and that's what so I'm just like, what, why? And so I have to look in, and then I share my story with everyone
Ross,
else. Yeah.
You are gonna find the Henry Darger of American role-playing games, and it will be who was Henry Darger's landlord who found his huge texts and projects after he died. But
I mean, this guy is, Kremen is 837 pages, and it's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah, if you go to page, let's look at the table of contents.
Wait, it's like Kremlin without an L?
Kremen, Kremin, and it's on
Kremlin without an L.
Yeah. And it's on Drive-Thru RPG. You can get the whole PDF, pay what you want. So it's something.
Not to be confused with Kremen Precision Machining and world-class quality.
Yeah. So anyway, that's we're over time now. Thank you all.
Yeah.
So much.
I have just one more completely random thing, which all this talk about whales and biting has put me in mind of. Have you seen the footage that emerged this week, shot on a GoPro, of a sperm whale surfacing fairly slowly, taken underwater, with a giant fucking squid in its mouth? This is the stuff we've theorized about for decades and decades, and there's film, and I'm pretty sure. I mean, the squid is moving, but it may just be water currents. But it's a big fucking
The film I saw today was on CBS News of a what a Republican congressman suggests is a Hellfire missile bouncing off a UFO.
This, but
I saw that, and I saw it and thought, man, those Epstein files must be dynamite.
Yeah, no shit. And that's our cue to get going before this transmission is mysteriously terminated.
Let's not get onto politics.
Yeah. Thank you all so much for listening to us. Thank you so much for watching us.
Always a pleasure. Thank you for the comments. Great comments.
And we'll join our Discord.